I married a woman I barely knew, only to find out she was cheating on me, hiding from the cops, and planning to steal my identity. Yeah, this one's a ride. Buckle up. So I'm Jake. Just your average dude from Phoenix, construction foreman, pretty decent family. Nothing too crazy. My parents are still together. I've got 2 brothers, Mason and Cody, and a sister, Erin, and we're all pretty tight. We grew up believing in marriage and loyalty, and when you know. That's why I thought I hit the jackpot when I met Savannah. I met her in Vegas, because of course I did. She was at this rooftop lounge wearing this red dress that could make a priest stutter. I was there for Mason's bachelor party. She was with a few girlfriends. Loud, flirty, chaotic in that I'll ruin your life and laugh while doing it way. But God, I was hooked. We talked for maybe an hour before I gave her my number. She texted me that night from her hotel room. Next day, we met for brunch. I stayed an extra day just to be with her. By day 4, I thought I was in love. And here's the kicker, we got married 3 weeks later. I know. I can already hear Reddit collectively screaming, idiot. But when you're in it, when someone like Savannah looks at you like you're the only person in the world, logic goes out the damn window. She moved in with me in Phoenix. Didn't bring much. Said she had to leave some baggage behind. I thought she meant emotionally. Turns out she meant warrants. The first few weeks were great. She made killer breakfasts, wore my shirts around the house, got along with my mom, who now says she always felt something was off. Thanks, Mom, for the retroactive warning. But things started getting weird fast. She wouldn't let me post her on Instagram. I like keeping my life private, she said. She never FaceTimed with her family. Said they were complicated. She flinched when a cop car drove past us once. Like flinched. But she was gorgeous, magnetic, wild. And I was convinced I had just rescued this free spirit from a toxic past. I thought I was her fresh start. Nah, bro. I was her cover. I'll post the next part, how I found out, tomorrow. Trust me, it gets insane. Semi-nude photos, burner phones, aliases. The whole criminal starter pack. So here's how I found out. It started with her iPad. Yeah. Not her phone, the iPad. The device every cheater forgets is still synced to their messages. Savannah was in the shower. She had been weird all morning. On edge. Snappy. Biting at me for stupid stuff like, why don't you put the toothpaste cap back on like a normal person? That kind of energy. I was doing laundry, and her iPad was charging on the kitchen island. It lit up with a notification. I wasn't gonna look. I really wasn't. But then I saw the contact name. Travis hot face fire sweat droplets. I froze. The message said, can't stop thinking about last night. You left your earring in my truck again, smirking face. My hands started shaking. Not gonna lie. I tapped it open like I was disarming a bomb. It was worse than I thought. Messages going back months. Months. Sexts. Shirtless pics of Travis in his truck, with captions like, come parking lot round 2? Her replies? Stuff like, you always make me forget I'm married, smiling face with horns? And, Jake's at work. I've got 90 minutes. Come through. One video, shaky, dim, taken in the back seat of a car. Her voice, unmistakable. A breathy whisper. Shoo. My husband doesn't know I sneak out to get F***ed like this. I sat down. My knees literally buckled. And then the kicker, he didn't even know she was married. She called me her roommate in some of the messages. In others, she said I was a clingy ex she couldn't shake. Like, I was out here paying the mortgage while she was out here pretending I didn't exist. Couldn't even move. Couldn't breathe. She came out of the shower in a towel, humming. I was still staring at the screen. The words you make me feel like such a bad girl burning into my skull. That's when I knew it was real. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't paranoid. I was married to a woman who lived like a walking lie. And I hadn't even uncovered the half of it yet. Next part gets worse. And I mean that in the, oh cool, my wife is apparently a fugitive way. So there I was, still holding her iPad, face pale, heart pounding like I just run a marathon through hell. She walks out of the bathroom in that towel, doing her fake humming thing, and sees me sitting there, staring at the screen like it's counting down to detonation. And of course, her first instinct, not, "Oh my God, you saw something." "Nope," she snaps. "Why are you going through my stuff?" I blinked, literally speechless. I just tilted the screen toward her and said, "Who the hell is Travis?" She froze, towel still wrapped, steam still clinging to her hair. Her pupils shrunk. And then she did what all cheaters do when cornered. Like, hell. "Oh my God, Jake. It's not what you think." "Then, it's old." "I didn't mean it. He's just a fantasy thing. I never even met him." I told her I watched the video, the one in the truck, with her laughing, saying my name mid-moan and calling it a joke. And her expression changed, like a curtain dropped. She didn't deny it after that. She just went ice cold and said, "You were never going to be enough for someone like me." That line, I'll never forget it. It cracked something inside me that never fully healed. I said, "Are you serious right now? I married you. I trusted you. I built a life for you." And she laughed. No joke. Laughed. "You were a soft landing, Jake. That's all. You were easy, safe, boring." Then she grabbed her phone and walked out, still wrapped in a towel. Called someone, probably Travis, and said, "Yeah, he found out. I'll figure it out." Like it was just another Tuesday. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I sat there, shaking, while the woman I married called me easy and boring and treated our marriage like a scam that finally got too complicated. And I hadn't even found out the criminal part yet. Yeah, there's more. So after the confrontation, she disappeared for 3 days. No calls, no texts, no note, just vanished like a magician with commitment issues. At first, I thought maybe she ran to Travis. Or maybe she was staying with one of the girlfriends she never let me meet. Either way, I was angry, humiliated, and completely wrecked. I hadn't told my family yet. Couldn't. I felt like if I said it out loud, it'd become real. But then I remembered something. When we got married, she never officially updated her ID. She kept putting it off. Always had a reason. The DMV's backed up. I lost my paperwork. My old last name's cooler. Let's just leave it. That suddenly felt off. So I pulled out our filing folder. The one with her passport copy she'd submitted for the apartment lease. I Googled the name. Savannah Ray Caldwell. Nothing. Just a few random Facebook profiles and a Pinterest board for wedding dresses that hadn't been touched since 2017. But then I tried something else. I ran the image, her ID photo, through a reverse image search. And that's when everything cracked open. Same face. Different name. Sophie Lang. Sophie F**************************** ing Lang. A wanted woman in Nevada and Arizona. 2 felony warrants. One for fraud, one for identity theft. No shows in court. Accused of scamming multiple people out of thousands with fake wellness businesses and angel investment collectives. There was even a local news segment archived online. My stomach dropped through the floor. I married a criminal. Not like, oops, unpaid parking tickets criminal. No, I married a woman who changed her name, jumped state lines, and conned people out of money, time, and turns out, identities. And the cherry on top, I found an open email on her old laptop. One she thought I never touched. It was a draft. Unsaved. Untitled. Addressed to herself. Subject line, Plan B if Jake finds out. Inside, instructions for booking a fake passport, cashing out crypto through an untraceable third party, and, get this, using my social security number to set up a shell account. My chest went tight. Couldn't breathe. She hadn't just cheated on me. She was using me as a smokescreen. I was a prop in her escape plan. So after finding out that my wife, sorry, Sophie Lang, wasn't just a cheater, but a full-blown criminal hiding out in my life like a damn snake in the attic, I did the next hardest thing. I told my mom. Now, if you knew my mom, her name's Diane, 58, heart of gold, judgment like a laser beam, you'd know this was going to be rough. She hated that I rushed into marrying Savannah. Said the whole thing felt too fast and too shiny. She was right, obviously. But damn, I wasn't ready for the I told you so. I called her, and my voice cracked before I even said hello. She knew something was up immediately. Jake. Mom, it's Savannah. She's not who I thought she was. I told her everything. About the cheating, the messages, the burner phones, the iPad, the real name, the fake identity, the fraud charges. I even read her part of the fake passport plan. She didn't say anything for a full 30 seconds. Then, "Oh, honey," I broke. Right there. Full ugly sobbing into the phone. My mom, trying to keep it together while I unraveled on speakerphone. Then I had to tell the rest of the family. Mason, my older brother, immediately said, "Bro, I knew she was a Bond villain. Remember when she said she used to do spiritual consulting for rich people in Dubai? That's not a job. Cody wanted to fight someone. She stole from you, man. She used you." Erin, my sister, cried with me. She used to do Savannah's nails and thought they were close. "I thought she was trying to start over," she whispered. "She made me believe she had a good heart." The truth hit everyone like a bat to the face. But here's the thing. They didn't judge me. Not the way I thought they would. Yeah, they were shocked, pissed, heartbroken for me. But mostly, they rallied. They helped me freeze my credit. Look into identity theft recovery steps. Mason's buddy is a lawyer. He gave me free advice and pointed me toward a PI. Erin helped me change the locks. Cody came over and helped me pack all her crap into trash bags and drop it off at the police station. And my mom? She just held my hand and said, "This isn't your shame to carry." I didn't realize how much I needed to hear that. So yeah, after telling my entire family that I'd somehow married a fugitive con artist who called me boring while planning to steal my identity, the next big question was, where the hell did she go? Savannah, Sophie, I guess, had ghosted after our confrontation. I hadn't heard a peep. Her phone was off, her Instagram gone. Travis, the side dude, was a dead end too. I messaged him under a burner account and got blocked almost instantly. Guess she filled him in, or lied her way out again. I filed a police report. Fraud, identity theft, the works. I brought the iPad, the laptop, the fake passport draft, the crypto wallet screenshots. The cop looked at me like, "Dude, this is a damn movie script." I thought they wouldn't care. That she'd vanish and I'd be stuck picking up the pieces alone. But here's the twist. She messed up. She used my Uber account. Forgot to log out on her old phone, the one I kept in case she pulled something shady. I checked the ride history. Boom. 2 trips in the last 48 hours. One to a cheap motel on the edge of town. The other to a strip mall salon. So I called it in. A detective got assigned. He called me later that week and said, "We've had a hit." She was spotted. And then, get this, arrested. At the freaking salon. She was getting her hair dyed brunette and cut into a bob. She literally got cuffed in foils. I laughed for the first time in weeks. They booked her on the outstanding warrants first. Arizona and Nevada were both already gunning for her. I didn't even have to push that hard. They were thrilled to finally get a lead. They didn't tell me much after that. Just that she was being extradited and they'd keep my file on record. But man, knowing she got caught, that she couldn't just slink away and rinse repeat on some other poor guy in a different state, that was the beginning of something. Not peace, not yet, but relief. Like the air started coming back. She wasn't smarter than everyone. She wasn't untouchable. She was just cruel and reckless. And now, she wasn't running anymore. Once word got out that Savannah or Sophie or whatever name she was operating under that week had been arrested, my entire life lit up like a Christmas tree on meth. It started with local news. One of those cheesy late-night segments. Phoenix man's wife caught in multi-state fraud scheme. I didn't want to be in it, obviously, but someone leaked a photo of us. Probably from our wedding, which was on some dumb public photo sharing site because I thought hashtags like #Jake and Save Forever were cute. Yeah. Kill me. People I hadn't heard from in years were texting me. An ex from college messaged me. Saw the news. Holy hell, Jake. Are you okay? Co-workers? Awkward as hell. Half of them tiptoed around me. The other half kept trying to ask questions under the guise of concern. One dude, Rick from accounting, said, "Damn bro, she was hot. I mean evil but hot. Thanks, Rick." Really helpful. Even the barista at my usual coffee spot recognized me. Hey, aren't you the guy with the criminal wife? Cool. Guess that's my legacy now. But the worst part? The shame. I didn't even do anything wrong, but I still felt like I needed to apologize to everyone. Like I brought a tornado into their lives. I had to keep reminding myself. She lied to me too. Still, the whispers followed me everywhere. Every family gathering, every group text, every invite I got had this weird tension behind it. Like people didn't know whether to console me or just not invite me at all to avoid the drama. My mom, to her credit, told off one of her church friends who called it a scandal. It's not a scandal, Marlene. It's a betrayal. There's a difference. Marlene backed off. My siblings were ride or die. Cody threatened to beat up anyone who called me the guy who got catfished in real life. Aaron made me a playlist called She Belongs in Jail and It's Actually Fire. But me, I started spiraling. Not out loud, but quietly. Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw a chump, a soft target. A guy who was so desperate for love, he married a damn felon in a red dress after 3 weeks. I felt humiliated, exposed. But at the same time, the embarrassment started morphing into something sharper. I wasn't gonna hide anymore. I wasn't gonna let her be the whole story. The turning point wasn't some dramatic monologue in the mirror or a lightning bolt of inspiration. It was laundry. Yeah. Laundry. I was pulling my hoodie out of the dryer and found one of her socks. Black, lace-trimmed, totally not mine. It smelled like that overpriced perfume she used to bathe in. Something French I bought her for Valentine's Day back when I still thought she had a soul. I just stared at it. This tiny piece of fabric. And I lost it. I didn't cry. I raged. I tore open every drawer, every closet, every crevice of the apartment where she might have left a trace. Her old yoga mat? Dumpster. Her half-empty shampoo bottle? Gone. Her favorite mug with the stupid cat pun? I smashed it in the sink. It wasn't just about throwing her stuff out. It was about exorcising her from my life. Afterward, I sat on the floor, breathing like I just sprinted a mile with a demon on my back. And then I got up and opened my laptop. I wrote it all down. Everything. The whirlwind romance. The fake name. The burner phones. The betrayal. The arrest. I posted it anonymously on a support forum. Not Reddit at first, some private place for men going through betrayal. I didn't expect much, but it blew up. People DM'd me. Strangers. Other guys. Women. Some had been through similar situations. Others just said, "Damn, man, you're strong. You're still standing." That night, for the first time in months, I slept 8 full hours. Next day, I started doing push-ups again. 10 at first, then 20, then 50. I joined a gym. I called the lawyer Mason hooked me up with and asked about protecting my assets. Turns out, she tried to open a credit card in my name days before the arrest. I shut it down. I changed my locks, my bank accounts, my passwords. I got a haircut, a good one. And then I started writing again. Longer posts. Reddit this time. Full threads. Not to vent, to warn. And that's when the revenge took shape. Not petty revenge. Not send her glitter in an envelope crap. Real revenge. Living well. Publicly. Making sure my name wasn't just attached to hers, but became something separate. Something better. I wasn't just the guy who married a fugitive. I was the guy who survived her. So yeah, I went full Phoenix. 6 months out from her arrest, I didn't even look like the same guy who stood in that Vegas chapel grinning like an idiot. I dropped 20 pounds, swapped beer nights for gym sessions, and replaced doom scrolling with books about resilience and emotional intelligence. My jawline came back. My confidence? Slowly but surely, she returned too. I updated my wardrobe. Nothing flashy, just clean, fitted, grown man clothes. Started walking with my shoulders back. I even started dating again very casually. A girl named Bree, then a few others. Nothing serious, but I wasn't love-starved anymore. And people noticed. I ran into my ex from 2 years before Savannah, at a grocery store of all places. She legit said, "Damn, Jake, who broke your heart and turned you into a Greek god?" I laughed. But it hit me. My revenge wasn't screaming at Savannah or exposing her on national TV. It was this: I was better without her. But then, of course, she came back. Well, not physically. She was still bouncing between jurisdictions and extradition hearings. But one day, an unknown number hit my phone. Voicemail. Played it. "Jake. It's me. Savannah. Or Sophie, I guess you'd prefer." I don't even know what to say. She paused. Took a breath. "I saw the article. The thread. I know everyone's talking about me like I'm some monster. And maybe I am. But I just wanted to tell you. I never meant to hurt you." "Bullshit," she continued. "You were the only person who treated me like I was more than what I did. I just wasn't ready to be saved." Then the kicker: "If there's ever a day you want to talk, really talk, I'll answer. Promise." I deleted it. Didn't even hesitate. Because I'd already talked. To therapists. To friends. To people who mattered. She wasn't the chapter one needed closure from. She was the fire that burned the house down so I could rebuild something better. I was not prepared for this one. So I'm at work, on break, scrolling through emails, when I see a message in my spam folder with the subject line: "You don't know me, but I think I owe you something." At first I thought it was a scam, but then I saw the name. Travis D. Yeah. That Travis. The side dude. The one in the truck. The one she called her escape. The one who, for all I knew, helped her run. The email was short. "Hey man, I just found out who she really was. I'm sorry. Can we talk?" I hesitated. Thought about ignoring it. But curiosity's a hell of a drug. So I emailed back. "You've got 5 minutes. Say what you need." He responded with his number. I called. His voice was weirdly nervous. Not what I expected from the dude who used to sext my wife in the middle of the day like he was starring in a low-budget porno. "Look," he said. "I didn't know she was married. I swear to God. I didn't say anything. She told me you were her ex. That you were just letting her stay until she found her own place. Said you were clingy and wouldn't let go." I could feel my blood pressure spiking. She didn't just lie to you, Jake. She lied to everyone. I didn't even know her real name until she got arrested. Apparently, she'd been stringing Travis along with promises of moving in together, starting a business, leaving her past behind. He said she even tried to borrow money from him twice. She ghosted him just days before the arrest. Left his texts on read. Blocked him everywhere. "I thought I was special," he said, bitter. "Turns out I was just Tuesday." For the first time, I didn't feel rage toward the guy. I felt pity. We were both just pieces on her game board. Just different flavors of gullible. I asked him why he reached out. He sighed. "Because I saw your Reddit post, dude, and I realized I wasn't just a side piece. I was a prop in her F***ed-up con, and I figured you deserved to know that." I thanked him, legitimately. Then I hung up, and for the first time I realized we were both victims. And Sophie? She was never looking for love. She was looking for cover. After that call with Travis, something shifted. I wasn't angry anymore. Not really. The fire had burned out. I wasn't obsessed with how she lied or how dumb I felt. I wasn't stalking old photos or scanning social media or wondering if she was rotting in jail or seducing some new sucker. None of it mattered. I was free. But freedom doesn't feel like fireworks. Feels like quiet. Like drinking your coffee without your hands shaking. Like checking your mail without dreading another credit fraud alert. Like hearing your own thoughts and realizing you like them again. So I got to work. Real work. First stop, the bank. I sat down with a rep and explained the whole situation. Fraud, marriage under false pretenses, credit attempts. They flagged my accounts, reissued cards, and walked me through setting up a credit monitoring service. Next, the lawyer. With his help, I had the marriage annulled on the grounds of criminal deception. That felt good. Not because I needed a clean legal slate, because I needed to symbolically erase that name from mine. Then, my apartment. I redecorated. Tossed the couch we bought together. Well, I bought. She stained with wine and lies. Painted the bedroom. Got a new mattress. It was the first time I ever invested in my own comfort without thinking about impressing someone else. I started journaling every morning. Just 10 minutes of raw thoughts. Some days it was gratitude. Other days it was rage. But I got it out. I got a dog, Coda, a rescue pit with crooked teeth and the energy of a toddler on espresso. He saved me. Dogs don't care about your credit score or your past. They just show up. Every day. And then, I started coaching. Not professionally. Just one-on-one with guys I met online. Other dudes who'd been cheated on, conned, humiliated, made to feel like footnotes in their own lives. Helping them helped me. I stopped feeling like the guy who lost everything. I started feeling like the guy who reclaimed himself. I should have expected it. But when a handwritten envelope showed up in my mailbox, scrawled in unfamiliar cursive, postmarked from a correctional facility in Nevada, I stood there for a full minute just staring at it. It smelled like bad memories. Inside, a 3-page letter on yellow-lined paper. From Sophie. Or Savannah. Whatever. I sat down at the kitchen counter. Coda curled up at my feet, tail twitching, and read it once. Then twice. Then a third time just to be sure I wasn't hallucinating. Here's what it said in summary. She'd been sentenced 2 years for the identity theft and fraud charges she didn't plea out of. Apparently, they were letting her serve time in state. She said prison had humbled her, that it gave her time to think about the real damage she caused. She said I was the only person who ever loved her without an angle. She said she hated how she'd hurt me and how she didn't even know why she was wired that way, how destruction just felt like a default. But the real kicker? She wrote, I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I hope you found peace. And maybe someday if you ever want to write back, I'll understand if you don't. It wasn't manipulative. It wasn't seductive. It was sad, heavy, like someone finally seeing the crater they'd left. And I didn't write back. Not because I was angry, but because I didn't need to. What would I even say? Thanks for the trauma. Here's my closure? No, I'd already closed the book. Burned the epilogue. Filed the ashes. I folded the letter, tucked it into a folder labeled Old Life/Lessons, and put it in a locked drawer with the annulment papers, the lawyer receipts, and the email from Travis. That letter wasn't for me. It was for her. And I'd stopped carrying her weight a long time ago. About 9 months after the whole thing blew up, a friend from the support forum I'd been posting on reached out and said, Hey man, we're hosting a meetup in Tempe. Would you come talk? At first, I hesitated. Who was I to speak? I wasn't some licensed therapist or trauma expert. I was just a guy who married a grifter and lived to tell the tale. But then I thought, maybe that's exactly why I should go. So I did. The group met at this little rec center behind a church. Folding chairs, lukewarm coffee, the kind of lighting that made everyone look slightly hungover. There were maybe 20 guys, all different ages, shapes, and expressions. Some hardened, some cracked, some still wide-eyed and reeling. I stood up, palms sweating, and started talking. I told them how I met her. Vegas. Red dress. The rush. The wedding. The charm. The way she made me feel like I was living in a movie. I told them about the iPad. The video. The alias. The police. The letter. But more than that, I told them about the after. The way shame sinks in. Not because you did anything wrong, but because the world makes you feel like you should have known better. How betrayal rewires your brain. Makes you question your instincts, your kindness, your masculinity. How healing doesn't feel like winning. It feels like walking uphill with broken legs. I said, the worst part wasn't what she did. It was that I started to believe I deserved it. That I was weak, boring, a joke. I looked around the room and said, but I'm not, and neither are you. They were quiet, but I saw it, heads nodding, shoulders loosening. One guy wiped his eyes and whispered, thank you, and that was it. I wasn't just the guy who got played anymore. I was a man who owned what happened, learned from it, and used it to build something real. That night, I drove home in silence, rolled the windows down, let the air hit me. For the first time, I felt proud, not of what happened, but of how I came back from it. So about a month after that men's group talk, I get a DM on Instagram. Simple. Short. Hey, I saw your story through a mutual friend. I don't know if this is weird, but I'd love to grab a coffee and talk sometime. No pressure. Lena. Lena. That name hit a bell. I scrolled up and realized she was a friend of my sister Erin, someone I'd met once years ago at a family barbecue. She'd been quiet, artistic, big into photography. Back then, I barely noticed her. Too busy playing cornhole and trying to impress Savannah. I stared at the message for a long time. Was I ready? Did I want to be ready? After everything that had happened, the idea of even a coffee felt loaded. But something about her tone was different. There was no flirty emoji. No, I heard what happened and think you're hot now energy. Just calm, curious, respectful. So I said yes. We met at a little bookstore cafe downtown. I got there early, half expecting myself to bail. But then she walked in. Jeans, hoodie, hair pulled back, no makeup, camera bag slung over her shoulder. She smiled like I hadn't just survived hell. Like I was just Jake. Not the guy who married a fugitive. Not the guy from Reddit. Just me. We talked for an hour. Then 2. Then 3. About music. Family. Grief. What it means to start over and not hate yourself for falling in the first place. She didn't treat me like a cautionary tale. She treated me like someone who still had chapters left. We didn't make any plans. No fast moves. But when I got home, I realized something. I hadn't thought about Savannah once. Not her face. Not her betrayal. Not even the chaos she left in her wake. Lena didn't erase the past. She just reminded me that maybe, just maybe, the future didn't have to be haunted. If I could sit down with the version of me from that night in Vegas, the one with hearts in his eyes and a ring burning in his pocket, I wouldn't slap him. I wouldn't shame him. I wouldn't scream, "Don't do it." I'd sit next to him, real quiet, and say, "You're about to go through hell, but it's the kind that'll show you who you really are." Because yeah, Savannah, Sophie, whatever name she chose to wreck people under, she broke me. She shredded my sense of trust, made me question everything about myself, and dragged my name through headlines, heartbreak, and handcuffs. Hers, thankfully. But from the ashes, I rebuilt someone better, not shinier, not smoother, just realer. I learned how to stop chasing validation from people who only see you as a stepping stone. I learned how to listen to red flags instead of romanticizing the chaos. I learned that betrayal doesn't mean you're unworthy. It means someone else wasn't capable of love, not that you weren't deserving of it. And most importantly, I learned that healing isn't some big cinematic moment. It's in the small things, in walking past a mirror and liking what you see, in hearing an apology you don't need anymore, in saying yes to coffee without needing it to become anything more than human connection. So yeah, if you're reading this and wondering if you'll ever feel whole again, you will. You'll stop needing revenge. You'll stop comparing. You'll stop asking, "What's wrong with me?" and start saying, "Damn, look at what I survived." You'll be more than the mess they left behind. You'll be the person who walked through it and kept walking. And that's the story worth telling. I have many other stories. Go to my channel. Subscribe so you don't lose us. Give me a thumbs up